Hello everybody and welcome to another video. First off, I want to apologise for not uploading a video yesterday. I was actually quite ill and I really didn't feel up to it, but I'm feeling considerably better today. So today we're going to be doing something pretty different, something I don't think we've actually done on this channel before. We're going to be looking at Celldweller, which is a sort of dark EBM sort of music. We may have done EBM before, or dark wave, or that sort of music before. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I've done so many videos, I can't remember all of them. Anyway, Celldweller is a band that I actually really quite like. I've got 4 albums, I think, maybe 5. Got 5 of his pieces of work. I quite enjoy it. It's very different from what I normally listen to most of the time, but I do still enjoy it from time to time. Now, Celldweller is based in Los Angeles, California, and it's an electronic rock project by multi-musician Clayton, born David Scott Albert. Clayton creates a hybrid fusion of digital and organic elements, designing soundscapes that take cues from electronic genres like industrial, drum and bass, and electro and dubstep, and sort of mixes them together with aggressive rock and metal and orchestral elements. Celldweller's music has appeared in several films, movie trailers, television shows, and even video games. Now, I was first introduced to Celldweller about 5-6 years ago when I heard the track. I can never remember. Is it Last Firstborn or is it First Lastborn? One of the two. Anyway, and I really liked that track. It really got me into his music, and since then, I listen to it every now and then when I'm feeling in that sort of mood. And yeah, I quite enjoy it. I like the guy's voice. I think he's got a great voice as well. And so yeah. Now, from what I understand, the album that this is off, and maybe more of his albums, are actually concepts. So the track we're looking at is a track called Precious One. And there's actually a little bit of information here that goes with the track. It says the chorus of this track is written from the perspective of the Gatekeeper, one of 6 characters on the End of an Empire universe. She represents the warm embrace of death and is an android of unknown model and origin. So that might give a little bit of insight into what the song's about, given that this character that's quoting this chorus is, she represents death. So that might give us an idea of what we're looking at. So anyway, I've been waffling on for ages now. Let's jump into this. So this is going to be Precious One by Celldweller. Let's have a look.
Close your eyes, precious one, and you will see your life has only just begun. Nevermore, be afraid. I embrace you, and I'll take you all the way through endless time to your new life.
Now, I'm going to pause that there for a minute. You know, I enjoy Celldweller. I really like this guy's music. I think it's really, really good. I love the way he mixes the different elements together, and it makes it sound really, really good. You know, when he brings in like the rock and metal elements, you know, it can be very, very heavy, like you just saw there. And then he goes back into the sort of electro, dancey, sort of techno sort of side of music, drum and bass and stuff like that. And it works really well together. You know, the way he sort of blends it and moves from one style to the next, it really, really works. And he uses different vocal styles as well, which again is something that I really enjoy. I mean, for the most part, he's just singing in a regular, singing voice. But then he comes in sometimes with sort of really harsh, more shouted than growled vocals, but there's still that sort of rough edge to them. And, you know, he mixes and matches his vocals with the style of music that he's playing at the same time, you know, so it works really, really well. Now, as I said at the beginning, I was talking about, you know, a little bit of information on the song. The song itself just generally seems to be about this gatekeeper talking to someone, you know, and guiding them through the process of, well, dying, possibly. Because the track opens up with that chorus, says, "Close your eyes, precious one, and you will see your life has only just begun. Never more be afraid. I embrace you, and I'll take you all the way through endless time to your new life." So, you know, even that opening bit, I mean, there's a line there, "You will see your life has only just begun." So it's like you might have died, but, you know, your soul, spirit, whatever, is going to start a new life in this afterworld and afterlife sort of thing. You know, you don't need to be afraid of anything anymore because, you know, nothing really bad can happen to you anymore. You know, I embrace you and I'll take you all the way through endless time to your new life. So, you know, they could possibly be guiding them, excuse me, to a resurrection, possibly, you know. So there's that, or reincarnation. I think that's the word I was looking for. Anyway, carried on. "I await the divine, lost in time, but I'm holding on. See her face, light all around me, filled with grace. Darkness fades away. Her embrace, I'm at her mercy, brings me home as she takes me from this life." Now, each of those last four lines are sung in sort of two separate parts. And then it goes into the pre-chorus 1, as it says here. "As I wait to pass through darkened glass, I cannot help but wonder. When I stand before you at death's door, will I be afraid to enter?" Is that when I stand before you at death's door, will I be afraid to enter, or will I just embrace the fact that I've died? Will I move on to this new life, you know, in the afterlife, etc.? Excuse me. Wow. And then it goes into the pre-chorus 2. It says, "Now I walk through to the other side, former life and memory. Everything inside is amplified and she's whispering to me." So it's like, now that I've crossed that threshold, now that I've taken that step into death, my former life is nothing but a memory now. You know, it's not a continuing path. It has been, it has gone. You know, I can only remember it. I cannot live any more of that life. And it says everything inside is amplified, and as she's whispering to me, so it's like all the emotions and stuff that they're feeling, you know, amplified. And it says, as she's whispering to me, referring to the gatekeeper, and then that chorus comes in again. It says, "Close your eyes, precious one, and you will see your life has only just begun. Never more be afraid. I embrace you, and I'll take you all the way through endless time to your new life." So I quite like this so far. A little bit of a story going on. Let's carry on. Well, there we go. That was Precious One by Celldweller. Now, I really, really enjoyed that track, and you know, out of all the albums of his that I've got, like I said, I've got about 4 or 5. I don't actually have any of the End of an Empire stuff, so I'm going to have to look into getting hold of that because I really enjoyed that track, and I'm curious as to what the overarching story is that encompasses all of them. But yes, I very much enjoyed that. You know, as I said before, it's actually quite a heavy piece of music, and you know the way he mixes the heavy music with the more sort of electronic dance, techno, hip hop, industrial drum and bass music. You know, he does it, very, very well. You know, it doesn't jarringly switch between the two. It sort of flows very well in one into the other. The track itself, it carried on. I face the divine end of time, and I'm letting go. Take her key, light all around me. Made for me, darkness fades away. I willingly, I'm at her mercy, open the door, and she takes me from this life. So again, talking about, you know, I take the key made for me and I willingly open the door. So sort of like, you know, she's given me essentially the permission to come into the afterlife, as it were, you know. So I open the door of my own free will and step through into essentially the afterlife. So it's basically saying, well, I mean, even the first 4 lines of that verse, it says, I face the divine end of time and I'm letting go. So I face the divine, it's like I'm seeing heaven or the face of God or whatever. My time has come to an end. I'm letting go. So it's essentially saying, you know, I'm dying. This is my very final moment as I'm passing through. Then it goes into that pre-chorus again. Pre-chorus 1. I begin to pass through darkened glass, and I cannot help but wonder as I stand before open death's door. Should I be afraid to enter? Now I walk through to the other side, former life and memory. Everything inside is amplified as she's whispering to me. And then it goes into the chorus again, but it's a slightly modified version of the chorus. It says, close your eyes, precious one, and you will see your life has only just begun. Nevermore be afraid. I embrace you and I'll take you all the way through endless time to your new life. And then it goes, to your new life, endless time to your new life. I embrace you and I'll take you all the way through endless time to your new life. And then there was a bit of an instrumental thing, and then it went, to your new life, close your eyes. You know, it seems like a very simply written song when you actually read the lyrics, but it's actually very well done. You know, it gets across the message of what the story is about. You know, it's someone dying and this gatekeeper's telling them, it's all right, I'm here, I'm going to guide you through it, I'm going to help you, I'll be at your side all throughout this transition. You know, so it's a nice part of a nice little sort of story that goes with it. I'm really going to have to find the rest of the Age of an Empire stuff and get my hands on it, because I want to listen to the whole lot, because like I said, I do enjoy his music. I understand it might not be for everybody, you know. I have a very, very wide taste in music. I listen to so many different genres of music, it's unreal, you know. And this is something that I quite enjoy, you know, something I'll put this on in the background and listen to whilst I'm writing or something, or sometimes I'll just put it on whilst I'm playing video games. You know, I actually enjoy this music in all sorts of scenarios. You know, I'm not just purely a metalhead, but that is my main type of music that I listen to. But I really, really like it. You know, it's got a story behind it. It has a little bit of a meaning to it as well, you know. It could have a sort of real life application where, you know, trying to comfort someone through their final moments of life, you know. So it's actually a really nice song, and it's brilliantly performed. You know, I do like the guy's voice. I think he's got a fantastic voice. And, yes, good track. I really enjoyed that. I'm definitely going to have to get my hands on the rest of that End of an Empire series of music. But, yeah, can't think of much else to say about that, so I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. If anybody would like to suggest a track for me to react to, then please do so by all means. You can drop a comment in the comment section below, or message me on my Facebook or my Instagram, or you can even message me through my Patreon, where you could also help to support the channel. That will enable me to create future content and, you know, possibly even improve the quality of the videos and the like. Do know though, if you do make a suggestion, it might take me a while to get around to it, since I get suggested so many new tracks every single day that my list grows faster than I can record the tracks. But I do write down every suggestion I get, so it will get done eventually. It just might take me a while to get around to it. Also, Metalhead reacts as a proud supporter of the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, a British-based charity whose main focus is to put an end to hate crimes, mostly those aimed towards people of the alternative culture. And this is something I find very important, something that's very, very important to me, something I'm very passionate about. Because, you know, every day all over the world, people are getting violently attacked because they listen to alternative music. You know, and it vastly goes unreported. For the most part, nothing gets said about it. It never gets talked about unless something really, really tragic happens. And that shouldn't be the case. You know, every day people are getting violently attacked. Some people are even getting hospitalised just purely because of the music they listen to and the clothes that they wear. And it's unacceptable. You know, it's something I've been having to deal with for a large portion of my life. You know, ever since I started secondary school or high school, whatever you want to call it. You know, from the age of like 11 onwards, I've had to deal with constant bullying and constant attacks and, you know, physical abuse just because of the music I listen to. Many of my friends have had to deal with it. You know, people in my family have had to deal with it. I know some people watching have had to deal with it as well. And, you know, it's something that nothing gets done about it. You know, for some reason, when somebody of the alternative culture gets attacked, people just don't seem to care, just because we're of the alternative culture, you know, and it's unacceptable. You know, you can't just violently attack someone because they like something differently to you. I mean, you don't beat someone up because they like different movies and TV shows, do you? You don't beat someone up because they like different flavour ice cream or crisps, do you? So why would you attack someone because their taste in music is different to yours? It's not a reason. There's no justification you can possibly offer as to why it's okay. You know, and when it comes to a point when someone is so violently attacked that they are killed, you know, that they die from their injuries, it's gone way beyond ridiculous. Sophie Lancaster and her boyfriend Rob Maltby were walking home minding their own business when they were set upon by a group of people, 5 or 6 people, against 2. And they were violently attacked, they were violently beaten, they had their heads stamped on, and both of them ended up in a coma. Now, Rob Maltby, he thankfully survived. He came out of his coma after about a week or so, I think. I can't remember exactly. But Sophie Lancaster was in a coma for 13 days before she died of her injuries. You know, she was beaten so severely that she died from her injuries. Just because of the music she listened to. And it's unacceptable that this happens. And the thing is, that got reported on because Sophie Lancaster passed away. You know. But I can guarantee you, since that happened, since Sophie Lancaster passed away, many, many hundreds of other people in the alternative community have been attacked in similar ways. But because none of them ended in fatality, nothing gets said about it. It doesn't get the recognition it needs, but it needs to stop. You know, people need to talk about this because, you know, people are getting severely injured. And, you know, we can't let what happened to Sophie Lancaster happen again. What happened to Sophie Lancaster should never have happened in the first place. Everybody on this planet has a right to be here. Everybody has a right to be an individual. You know, attacking someone for liking different music is the most pathetic reason for attacking someone. You know, there's no valid excuse for it. You know, why did you beat them up? I don't like their music. What kind of an excuse is that? If you don't like the music, don't listen to it. If you don't like the clothes that they're wearing, don't look at them. It's pretty simple. But none of these is an excuse to violently attack someone. But it happens all the time, and it needs to stop. And this is what Sophie Lancaster Foundation is all about. They want to put an end to this. They want people to know the consequences of doing this. And they don't want to, because, you know, they don't want to see another family go through what they went through when they had to watch their daughter slowly die. You know, nobody should die just because of their taste in music. It's unacceptable. If you'd like to find out more about the Sophie Lancaster Foundation, there is a link to their website in the description below. You can go over there, find out what they're working on, find out what their goal is, because they can explain it a lot better than I can. And if you can help them out in any way at all, you know, even if it's just a small donation or even something like one of these Sophie wristbands, which are like, I think they're £1 off their web store. If you can help in any way, that's fantastic. If you can't, that's fine. You know, if you can help them, it'll be greatly appreciated, and the smallest amount can make the biggest difference. And the sooner we bring more attention to this, the sooner we can help to stamp out prejudice, hatred, and intolerance everywhere. But I'm going to leave that as it is for the time being. Thank you all very, very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.